All right, Shalom. First and, fore- first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakas Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we're back here once again. Gonna go right into it. Last week we started going through Second Ezra 15, so we're gonna continue from there, and then see how far we can get into that. You know, going along with the order of prophecy, right? Because you have the events, right, that takes place in 15, 16, 13, second chapter, you know, and many other scriptures. But those are some important prophetic scriptures that we got to keep on hitting on, right? We got to keep on touching on them because we're living in those times now. Now you can see in the title it says it's all planned, right? And just I think either like this morning or yesterday, because you know the time zones are a little different from here in the West versus the East. But now they're saying that Iran is now saying they've closed down the strait again, and they're you know they fired on some ships that were trying to go through there, and they're claiming that the U.S.'s blockade, you know, being in place is violating whatever they had agreed on to begin with. But what's interesting is you had a whole week. You know what I'm saying? They put that blockade in place for it's been some days now. You know, and while it was in place, right, it came out and said, oh, the strait is now open and X, Y, and Z. And all of a sudden, the markets close. Nobody says anything. And then, boom. Oh, no, actually, that's not what it is. We're not interested in having talks. We're not going to have talks on the planned date and all this madness. But it's all theatrics at the end of the day, you know, on the grand stage or the grand, you know, scheme of things. Okay? Because you notice now they said they're going to launch or they're launching Operation Economic Fury. And then they saying that it's on Iran, but it's not on Iran, it's on the world. Because what Iran is doing over Iran's economy already been hurt. All right, they've been hurt by these sanctions and all of that for decades. So what they're doing, matter of fact, let's start with Revelation 12 and 12. And then we'll go back to second Esdras. But what they're doing is they're hurting the world's economy, the global economy, not just Iran's economy, because they know, you know, whatever they know that based on what's going on there with that strait, when it's open, when it's closed, when it's open, when it's closed, that's causing a lot of prices of things to go up, not just oil, but you have liquid natural gas, fertilizer, all of these things that people are going to start to feel on many levels, you know? Got it.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 12, and it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Why? Because the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea are the ones that are going to be feeling the effects of the things that are going on here. Right? This is all a part of prophecy, but when you look at the remaining prophecies, what did Yahweh Shai say? Same as what Ezra saw, the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so it's going to be woeful onto the inhabitants of the earth, save the elect. The elect are going to go through it, but the Lord is going to deliver the elect out of it. Right?
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time.
And that devil isn't talking about a spiritual demon Satan, even though he has a hand in it, right? Because he's working on the left hand through the Edomites. Okay, when you go higher and higher up the chain, influencing their minds in different ways, and so on and so forth. But that devil there going into a deceiver is dealing with the same deceiver who is telling you that everything is going all right. Okay, on the world scale, he just this morning there was Trump signed an executive order for some FDA bypass or approval of using psychedelics for something like that. But in there, he briefly spoke on the whole Iran situation, and what he said was, "Oh, everything is going really well with Iran." How is it going really well with Iran when they just came out and said they're closing the strait again? You know, so he's saying that to deceive the people, to control, you know, the markets, and you have insider trading that's going on. People are making a lot of money off of this. Iran is good. No, Iran is bad. No, Iran is good. No, Iran is bad. And the markets are going up, then they're going down, and prices are going up, then the prices are going down. They're making money off of that. All right, and people keep falling for it, hook, line, and sinker every single time. So, and it says the devil has come down onto you having great wrath, That's talking about, and when I say Trump, I'm not saying that he alone, because this devil is a body. Okay, it's a body, it's a structure, and he's just a cog in the wheel that is playing his role. Okay, and really the elites are also just cogs in the wheel of the Lord's story. All right, go ahead. And that's why they call it epic fury. But the real epic fury is going to come when the Lord breaks this thing loose. That's why we say all hell breaks loose. When we say all hell breaks loose, that's exactly what it's going to be. The hell that's about to be unleashed upon the earth is like it's like it's chained down, right? It's spirits that are created for vengeance, right? So it's been chained down for a period of time. But when the Lord gives the go ahead, then it's going to break loose. Okay, it's going to feel sudden. What was that? No, that was it. That was what I'm talking. So jump to 2nd Ezra 15 now, and we can start off at around, where we at, 11 verse. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and 11.
You see, the only thing that's going to keep you calm and stable in these times is the true understanding and coupled with the spirit, all right, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what's going to keep you calm, because a lot of these people that come and report on things that are going on, even these reporters, these journalists, yeah, they report on these things, but they're scared. All right, they're afraid of how things can go when it gets out of hand. But we have knowledge with comfort. It's not just knowledge about what's going on, but we're comforted in knowing why it's happening, what's going to happen after, what do we do when it happens. Go on.
In 2nd Ezra 15 and 10, and it reads, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter."
Who are the Lord's people? The Israelites. So right now we're in a condition where it's like, as it says, led as a flock to the slaughter. A lot of Israelites are in that docile mindset where they're literally being led to the slaughter. They don't see what's going on. Their eyes are not open to make the right decisions, to foresee, like a prudent man, foresee the evil and hide themselves. But it says what? The simple pass on and are punished or destroyed. So a lot of our people are simple. They're simple-minded. Go ahead.
"I will now no longer suffer them to dwell in Egypt."
Right, now at the time when this was written, we weren't dwelling in Egypt, right? The Israel as a whole was not in Egypt. At this time of Ezra, the northern kingdom were taken captive to the to Assyria. I believe at this time they had already come to the Americas, but we weren't dwelling in Egypt. So why does it say, "I will not now suffer them to dwell in Egypt"? Because that Egypt that it's talking about is not ancient Egypt, but this modern day Egypt, which is also mentioned in Revelation, the 11th chapter. Let's go there real quick. Maybe around the 8th verse or so. That great city, which is Babylon the Great, is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay? So America is known as spiritual Egypt. That's the Egypt in 2nd Ezra 15 that is being referred to here. And we're here. Go ahead.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 11 and 8, and it reads, "And the dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city."
Now, who's dead bodies? The dead bodies are the Israelites. But when it says dead, it's not talking about being literally dead, all right, but being without the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that will make you living before the Lord. Real quick, hold that and jump to Proverbs, I believe it's 21 and 16. And that's going to explain what it means by their dead bodies. See, the scriptures are written, you know, you have a lot of precepts that are written in the dark saying, but the answers are right in the book. You just need the spirit to guide you to know where to look in the book to get the answers. But the answers, the book breaks down itself if you know how to use it right. So our people, you still got a lot of our people that are still in a dead state till today. And that being spiritually or mentally dead is going to lead them to being physically dead. They're like the walking dead. 21 and 16. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and 16, and it reads, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead."
Yep. So why were they in Revelation 11? Why was it called their dead bodies? Because at that time we didn't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that would give us life. Okay, the spirit of life, the breath of the Lord, it wasn't in us at that time. So we were alive, and you had some people that were physically dead, but we were walking around in a destitute state of mind, state of living, which is why it was called dead bodies. But go ahead on that in Revelation.
Revelation chapter 11 and 8, starting from the top. And the dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
Yeah, it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So when you go back to 2nd Ezra 15, that Egypt is the spiritual Egypt, which is that great city, which in Revelation 17, the angel breaks down what that great city is, which is that whore, aka Babylon. Today we know as America. All right. So you good on that. You could jump back to Revelation 2nd Ezra 15.
2nd Ezra 15 and 11, and it reads, but bring them out with a mighty hand and outstretched arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and destroy all the land thereof.
Yeah, so the Lord said he's going to deliver us out of this Egypt with a mighty hand. And who is the hand of the Lord? Yahweh Shai. Because that's how we're going to get delivered out of here. He's going to send the deliverer to come and deliver us out of here. And he says he's going to smite this Egypt with plagues like before. And then what? Destroy the land thereof. He didn't destroy the whole land of Egypt, but he is going to destroy the whole land of Babylon or America. And that's why all these things that are happening in the world are happening today, because it's all leading to the destruction of this place. And that's going to include the people in it. But it's interesting that the people who are most at risk don't care. God?
Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it.
Yeah, when you destroy the foundation of something, you destroy the whole thing. Right? Because without the foundation is what holds everything up. So if the foundation is broken down or destroyed, nothing can last. Everything that it's so-called holding up comes crashing down. So the Lord is systematically and physically destroying this place, because this place, the illusion, right, of this American dream is upon lies and deception. That's why it's an illusion. And once that goes away, everything else starts to crumble. The reason things continue as they are is because people know their roles or have been deceived to know their roles, and then they play it, right? You playing around with fiat currency, that's faith-based currency. It's not backed by anything. But when you go to work for it, right? People kill each other for it. You put in time and effort and labor for it. So long as you believe that this is worth something and you continue to use it as such, you keep this illusion of a society going. You believe whatever they tell you on the media. They have a system set up that way. But the Lord is fundamentally breaking all of that down through the truth coming out by sending out his prophets. And once that's gone, you'll see how society collapses into chaos.
They that till the ground shall mourn, for their crops shall be destroyed by fire and hail and violent storms.
Yeah, and they that till the ground are your farmers, right? They're the ones that they have the large fields, the large farms. They weed it off, they create the furrows, they plant the seeds, they water, like all of that, irrigation systems and so on and so forth. These are the tillers of the ground. Why are they going to mourn? In fact, you got some of them mourning right now because of the lack of the expense. They don't have either enough resources, or the resources they can afford is too much. It's too expensive because of what's going on in the world. And when they mourn, you mourn, because they're the producers of what you eat. So if they can't make a living off of doing their job, you're not going to get to eat because they're not doing their job. Okay.
Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh.
Yeah, so Ezra saw all of these things. That's why he said, whoa, it's a bad time. It's a destructive time that's coming to the world and those that dwell in it. Because the sword, which represents destruction, read that part again.
For the sword and their destruction
draweth nigh. So the sword and the destruction of the people is coming close. And that's what the Lord is setting up with all this that's going on. You wait till Russia gets involved. People think that's gonna stop at just Iran and there's gonna be peace and we're going. No, when Russia gets involved, you're gonna find out what real war is like. You know, when they start bringing out the big guns, because right now they're not using the what they call the big guns. All right, right now they still playing around. You know, and that's the Lord's doing at the end of the day. See, the Most High, He's playing. You can't even put a number on it. The kind of game, chess, checkers, whatever that the Lord is playing, you can't even put a number on it because He's controlling the people that are controlling the people that are controlling the people that are doing all of these things. Okay, so wherever somebody thinks that they're in control, they're actually being controlled, and the Lord is controlling both sides. So the elites that say we're gonna start both wars or start all wars from multiple sides. That's what they did, right? They split up. They have agents in all the different governments, and then they stir up these different things, right? So in their mind, they think, well, we are the ones playing on this board. We move this piece on this side, and the opposing piece, we move that on this side. But the Most High is the one controlling them to say, okay, do this and do that, and tell this guy to do this. All right, tell him to back off. All right, tell him to go again. The Lord is controlling all that. So even when they start, acting like they're trying to de-escalate things, that's the Lord doing that. When they re-escalate, that's the Lord doing that. Because He got angels that are set up to, I have them pick up on this now. Okay, wait. Now they gotta do this. Okay, all right, now they gotta do that. So it's like they're like a composer orchestrating, and the different instruments are playing at different times. And that's how like prophecy is. It's like music. So that's what we're hearing the music now. Right, and the Lord is orchestrating it. So now you're here. Okay, this part is going up. That's the war drums. The war drums are going up, louder, loud. Okay, now bring it back down. Okay, now pick this one up. Okay, now merge these two together. So you'll see. Wait, now there's talks about the war front going up, and then it calms down a bit. Then you start hearing talks about the AI, talks about the the ICE and what they're doing internally. Talks about the central bank digital currency. Then that starts to go up, then go up, then go up. Then it starts to like calm down, and something else comes up. But eventually, they all gonna mix. When you get to the high part of the song, they all gonna mix. You're gonna see the C-hip out here. You're gonna see the war talks out here, and it's just gonna get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And then it's all gonna go quiet because the song is gonna be over. And when the song is over, it's gonna end with missiles hitting this place. Got it?
Let me see if I can say this right. Mm-hmm. So the reason why the Lord has things calmed down multiple times is so people can get that the sigh of relief. Mm-hmm. So, and when they get that, that's when He can hit them even harder. Because it let's say like you're in a fight. If you brace for a punch, it's not gonna hurt as much. But if you get punched in the stomach and you're not expecting it, you're gonna definitely feel that. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Lord wants. He wants to hit you, and you feel that straight to your soul.
Oh, yeah, it's like throwing a feint. And especially when you throw a feint, because they're bracing somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole brain is, let me cover my head. He's about to hit me in the head, and your whole liver is exposed. And then this guy comes with the because when you throw a feint, you don't put power into it. You can literally just lift up your hand, and somebody's going, oh, and then you put real power into what's coming under. And this is at this point, there's no defense. So like you were saying, the Lord, He'll throw something out here. Oh shit. Okay, wait. All right. I'm going, and then boom. The hardest punch you've ever felt, straight up in your liver. At that point, you might die. You could die for that. If it's hard enough, you can't breathe. And that's what the Lord's about to do. When He says sudden destruction, that's exactly what He means. The destruction is going to be sudden, unexpected, diabolical. Go ahead.
Continue verse 15. And nations shall rise up against one another.
And you know what? Really, we got to have fun with it. We got to have a lot of fun with this. Because, like, if you really think about the position we're in, we ain't got nothing to worry about. We have absolutely nothing to worry about. We're literally just waiting it out. The ones who got something to worry about are these people here. It's like we took the final exam and passed halfway through the semester. So we just sitting in class. Whether we pay attention or not, ain't really doing nothing for us because we already passed the final exam. So it's these people that got something to worry about. When the famines come, we're good. The Lord said that. We're doing what's we know what we got to do, and we're doing it. We don't got a problem doing it, but we can have fun with it. You can't. You can't. You stuck. You see. You got somebody that's smart and they joke around in class, but they know when the test comes, they're gonna pass it. So they're good. You want to hang out with them and you want to start playing the class clown, and the test comes and then you fail, you getting your ass beat. And you wonder, wait, I was just joking around with him. What? How? What? He got 90s, you got zeros. You know, so you cook. Now your whole summer's ruined. I remember that in high school. They give you the hardest exams right before summer break. You come to find out your summer's here, but you going to summer school. You fail this shit. Your whole summer is ruined. Gone. But we good. So we can have fun. We can enjoy this. Right? We could, you know what I'm saying? Because hey, the Lord is He's working on our behalf. All this that the Lord is doing is for us. You know, it's for us. That's why He got all this playing. So, you know, we get excited and we wanted to hit, but we gotta sometimes just enjoy it. You know, it's fine. Enjoy the movie because we know what's gonna happen. We know there's no way. It doesn't matter what comes out of this. There's absolutely no way that this shit just calms back down, goes back to normal, and then that's it. Absolutely impossible. It will never happen. It's gonna keep on going just like that, and then boom, one day it's gonna set off. And the MOTB is like running a 4x4, you know, or 4x1, whatever you want to call it. You got 4 people running 100 meters each, and they're passing the baton to each other. And right now, what we're seeing is somebody about to pass the baton to this the MOTB, and it's about to come in full speed. Boom! Like, what the fuck? He's playing faster. You know, like what's going on here? You know, MOTB about to come in hot. You know, like summertime hot. Yes, sir.
Hey, you notice too. Can y'all brothers hear me? God, shalom, y'all bash me up, shabrak. You notice too, when they're doing the relay, they always put the fastest runner at the end, right? The fastest runner is always at the end, and that's pretty much like how you said the MOTB. They're about to pass the baton to the MOTB. So we're in the stage. The runner right now, he's at the stage of, if you were to look at it as a relay race, we're at the stage where we're at the last runner before the final runner, where he's the one who's setting up the stage for the final runner. So wherever he may be in position right now, to people it might seem like, oh, he's out the race. Look how far he is. He's now about to pass the baton. Like we don't see it, right? We don't see it, but then it happens suddenly, like out of nowhere. There's a burst of speed, and everybody's like, oh shit! Like where did that come from? That's that sudden impact. Like oh shit! Like what the fuck? And then guess what? He wins the race, right? He wins the race, and everybody's like, yo, I didn't think it was gonna happen. Like this guy was way back there. How the hell did he get here so fast and beat everyone to it? Because it was timed. It was all reserved, like you said. They were watching the race thinking, oh yeah, we could all win the race. Oh, this guy's not going that fast. It's not that hard. It's not that serious. And then boom, he just runs past everyone because nobody saw him when he was training. Nobody was actually paying attention to the legislation that's being passed, the bills that's being proposed. The new, I just saw a notification that says Trump bank citizenship plan could hit 21.3 million Americans lacking proof papers and more than 69 million women. So that's another part of the signs that we're about to enter into the MOTB stage soon. Okay, they're making moves behind closed doors that's going to affect you openly. And a lot of people are not putting 2 and 2 together. They just think like ISUPK dudes. Them dudes think things are just gonna be as it is, like, oh, that's just fake. Just because I don't believe it, it's not gonna happen. Well, the Apostle Paul says in Romans 3:3, so what if some did not believe? Does that make the faith of the Most High without effect? Right? So because you don't believe, there's a lot of people that didn't believe they were gonna die and they're not here no more. Okay? Go speak to Jacob Rothschild. His ass didn't think he was gonna die. Look at Rockefeller, David Rockefeller. He has 7 heart transplants. He was clearly trying to defy death. But what happened? The Lord got his ass anyway. Okay? Queen Elizabeth, the Lord got her ass anyway. Evelyn Rothschild, the Lord got his ass anyway. So these are supposed to be the lords of the earth. They have the name or the title Lord in front of their names. And where they at now? They're in the spirit world, waiting to be brought back down here to serve slavery. So with all that, oh, it's just my thinking. Yeah, fuck what you think, bruh. It's about what the reality is. It's about what the Lord has set in stone, that the prophets of old have all prophesied about. And we're seeing it happening right now. So it's all beautiful because, like you said, we can have fun with this because we see what the Lord is doing. We understand everything step by step from here on out. We're not confused by the noise of the battle. We're not confused by that. Okay? It's designed that way to confuse those who are not of the elect. That's why you have people who are watching things going on. They see things popping off, but to their mind, it's like, oh, ain't nothing happening yet. You know what I'm saying? No, things are happening. Things are happening. All right? I get a quick precept and I'm going to pass it. This is a book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net. And as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. Okay? So when you get caught off guard, that's the worst part of, well, that's the worst pain that you could feel. When the shit is coming and you kind of brace yourself, you kind of like, like you could, okay, boom. Oh, it wasn't that bad. But when you're not expecting it, like a slap out of nowhere, when you're not expecting it, that shit gets you to a different level of like pain and anger and frustration at the same time, but there's nothing you could do about it. You just gotta suffer this shit. Like, damn, like, I wish I could slap this nigga back, but you gonna slap this shit and it's gonna hurt you even more. You know what I'm saying? It's like fighting an inanimate object that's way more powerful than you. You can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it's gonna feel like. You're gonna feel this feeling of overwhelming, the feeling of being overwhelmed, but being hopeless at the same time. That you can't really explain that besides legit being in trouble, man. That's literally the only feeling or description you can give that kind of scenario, which is feeling helpless and hopeless, but being like, there's nothing you can do. Nobody can help me. There's nothing I can do here. Like, what do I do? You can't die. You can't survive. You can't. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do in this situation? Nothing. Right? And that's how a lot of people are going to feel like they can't do anything. Your hands are tied. Your feet are tied. Your eyes are blind. Your mouth is covered. You can't speak. There's nothing you can do. You could barely breathe. How about that's very helpless, man. And we use these descriptions to give you an idea of what's to come so you can better be prepared for it. And when we rule it out, when we lay everything out plainly as the scriptures tell you, you quickly realize that, damn, like, without the Lord, I ain't shit. Without the Lord, I'm not going nowhere. Without the Lord, I'm going to be fucked up. You see, and that's the main reason why we're doing this. Through the fear of the Most High, we persuade men. All right? So you have to get into that spirit of that. You have to understand that we are in some evil times. Don't wait till you get caught by the evil time and now you're like, oh shit, what the hell? No. Understand the times we're in so you're better prepared in case something happens. You know and understand the times you're in. Okay? You're not going to be like these dumbass people that are going to run straight to the problem thinking that that's where the solution is going to be at. All right? So brothers got it.
That's right. That's right. So where we at with it?
Oh, you say you want to be strong.
Yep. I do want to do this. Well,
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and 1, and it reads, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so a great wow. I'll start again. This is book of Hebrews 12 and 1, and it reads, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us.
yeah. So we're on the final stage. We're literally on the you know, the grand stage, WrestleMania, playoffs, final game, whatever you want to call it. We on there. We the players, you know, and the heavenly host, you know, the angels, Yahweh Shai, everybody's watching, you know, and they're seeing that we all got the same goal in mind. It's to survive, it's to win. So we all gotta, you know, give it our all. Like, let's run that we may win this race. See, everything that the men of old hoped for is now here, right? We're now right in front of it. The day is finally here upon us, you know, and it is going to turn up. It's going to turn up, but guess what? We got to turn up with it, you know, because we know what we got to do. At the end of the day, that's one of the most comforting things in life is to know what you got to do. What's your purpose? You got some people whose lives are just vain. They live a whole entire life without ever actually doing anything. They just eat, shit, breathe, sleep, you know, ruin somebody's life, and then restart. That's it. No purpose, no nothing. You just die like you were never here. But it was even the wicked have some legacy. At least they know for being wicked. you just not known. You know? But we have a purpose, so we know what our purpose is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny because the other day I asked someone, because he said he was feeling alone and he was lonely and depressed and all that. And I'm like, what's your purpose? You know what your purpose is? And he was like, yeah, you know, I gotta get bitches, you know?
Right.
Yeah. He just feels so lonely. I'm like, bro, you don't even know what your purpose is, bro.
See, that's the American mindset. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get this paper, I gotta get this money, you know, get these women, blah blah. And they don't even know how to take care of women. Yeah. You always chasing women, and when you get them, you don't even know what to do. You don't even know how to handle that. Because see, women are and this ain't about women, but we ain't spoken about women in a while. So it's time to bring y'all back on the front stage. But see, women are a very complicated creature. They're simple, but complicated at the same time. In fact, they're so simple that it's complicated to somebody that doesn't understand. Because you're wondering, why are you saying this right now? Do you not see the situation that's going on, right? But they don't get it. So society today doesn't teach men how to be men. The Lord designed a man a woman to complement a man. A man's natural way of thinking is built that way so that if he has a woman, he knows how to operate, he knows how to move. But that's why wisdom is one of the most important things. You gotta get grounded in that wisdom first. So they chasing on, I'm trying to get bitches, what they really mean is they just trying to have sex. That's it. They're not trying to get women, they just trying to get some ass. And when they get some ass, that's it. You know, yo, what's up? Yo, you trying to pull up booty call hours. Yo, what's up? What's going on? And then that's it. So they waste their lives living, chasing vanity. It's literally vain, right? Because you go ahead, you deal with a chick, what, couple sessions, you're done. Now what? Now you're back to square one. All right, what now? I'm gonna go smoke some weed, or I'm gonna just go do it. You're not doing anything. You're not working towards anything. Your life is literally nothing. You're not taking any steps anywhere. You do the same shit over and over again. You're a product. You're an artificial product of this artificial world. And that's why when this world goes down, they're gonna go right down with it. But our ambitions are out of this world. You know, the things we're looking for is completely out of this world. So when all this goes down, the Lord is like, look, I already got y'all secure, man. Because you already down with the program. You know what's going on. But imagine this. All hell is breaking loose. Because a lot of these people, a lot of women are going to lose their men. And a lot of men are going to lose their women. Pastor R said this in one of the videos that he was doing. I caught it. But he was basically saying that, yo, in that time, somebody sees you, they see you got a fine ass woman, they're just going to kill you and take her. Because when you go back to the ancient world, it was like that. And that's why Abraham lied before going up into Egypt. He told Sarah, tell him, hey, yo, look, just tell him you my sister, that just don't tell him I'm your husband, because they're gonna kill me and take you. But if I just say you my sister, then hey, you know what, fine. If anything, they're gonna treat me good, you know, to try and get that favor. So it's gonna go right back to that. You know, people gonna say, no, yeah, you know what, hey, yo, grab him up, cut off his head or something like that, you know, and then take her. We going. That's that. It's gonna revert back to that primitive state, and people are not ready for that. You got people that are they're like, I'm ready to settle down, have a family, have kids, and you know, just sort of just live life. And no, this ain't the time to be living life. You about to enter into the most survival mode that you got to go into. And if you don't have the Lord with you, you're cooked. Absolutely, you're not cooked. You're deep fried. Okay, that's what you are. You deep fried. So where we at?
Continuing verse 12. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Do you see that? That's very important right there. Let us run. You got to keep on running, but you got to run with patience. If you're running, see, when you're doing a sprint, 60 meters, 100 meters, even a 200, you can, you know, even when you get to that 200, you got to pace yourself. But 100 meters, you're giving it all you got. It's a short sprint, a burst of energy. But when you start going up into the 400, 800 and up, it's about patience. It becomes an endurance thing. You have to keep running, but you're in your mind, you're like, I just did one lap. I got like 6 more laps. Fuck, you know? But you gotta run with patience. So you're still running, your feet, your heart is beating faster, you're getting tired, your legs are starting to cramp up. But the patience is, you know what? I gotta keep on running. Because you know what? Each step that I take, I'm getting closer. And sometimes if you gotta take 1,000,000 steps and you only have 5, each step doesn't feel like you're getting closer. Because you could take 20 steps and then look back and you still look like you're at the same spot. But you're not. It looks like you are, but you're not. So now we're at the point where we're just the few steps you took in the beginning, that's how much is left for you to finish the race. That's where we are right now. And once again, remember, it's the Lord's time. So the Heavenly Father, He set everything up. And only He knows just how close we are to this thing. We don't. We hope, but the Lord is like, if only you knew. And the scriptures say He's not going to frustrate the patience of the saints. So He's not going to get it to the point where we're just so overwhelmed. We're just like, we ain't doing this. No, it's not going to happen. But the Lord is watching and He's like, you're almost there. You don't know how close you are. You may think next week, I got you tomorrow. You know, that's why your mindset got to always be, you know what? I hope it's close, but I'm ready even if it's closer. Go ahead.
Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're looking onto Yahushua because our faith started with Him and He's going to be the one to complete it. when Yahushua comes back, we're not gonna need to have faith. You know, like you gotta have faith. You gotta believe without seeing. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see him. We're gonna see the kingdom. We're gonna literally be living in that kingdom. The thing that we've been pushing so hard to get to, we're gonna be there. So he's gonna be the one that's gonna complete it. He's gonna make us perfect. There's more on that. That was mainly the point, right? All right, let's go back to second Esdras. There's some serious times we're living in, man, and it's always fascinating to see the kind of lives people are living. You know what? If you want to understand Luke 17 and was it 26? Look around you today. That is Luke 17 and 26. Matter of fact, jump to Luke 17 and 26. You want to understand the breakdown of that? Look around you. You understand exactly what it's talking about. We're living in the time of Luke 17 and 26, where this is the time of the day of the Lord. And we know because we're looking at the signs.
Hey, real quick, it's heavy. You could see the difference in the spirit that the Lord is dealing with, because you have two sides. You have two literal opposing sides, which you have the house of David, which are the elect, and then you have the rest of the world, right? Now, when you go into the book of Nehemiah, I believe the 8th chapter, it talks about how after Nehemiah had given them the words of the Lord, and how they're supposed to, get themselves right back to, the ordinances that the Lord has set up. Right? It says that, if I roughly paraphrase, it says that when the people had understood the word, they went into their homes and then they made mirth because they understood the words of the Lord. Like they accepted it and they were happy about it. You fast forward to today, you got people doing the opposite. They're making mirth without the understanding of the will of the Heavenly Father. They don't know the prophecies. They don't know what's actually going on in current day. They live in today, but they don't understand what times we're in. They don't know. They don't know that. And that's like being at sea and being completely lost without a compass. Like that's literally how these people are today. They don't know any direction. The wind, wherever the wind is blowing, that's where they end up at. That's it, right? So you look at those two types of people, and you're like, yo, damn, how is it that the Lord? We're all people. The Bible is available to everyone on this earth, but how is it that there are certain people that can actually understand it, and everybody else doesn't understand it, to a point where they condemn themselves by their misunderstanding of the scriptures? They will come against the true understanding of it by condemning themselves. They'll do videos. They'll tag along with a nigga like Vocab, who has nowhere else to go but slavery soon. They'll tag along with a nigga like that who has no glory in our inheritance, but they want to tag with him. Meanwhile, we telling them, yo, this is about you. Forget about this corny ass Edomite that you hanging out with. There's nothing going good for him but slavery. And that's it. If he makes it out of here, America, if he can find his way to a different country and wait for the judgment, then we're going to grab him up from wherever he's going to be at with his family, and they're going to serve their time in slavery. Right? But until then, you niggas need to find a way out of what's about to hit America very soon under your president, DJT. That's the warning. That's the pivotal part of the warning. We're entering into a stage where you shouldn't be making mirth, bro. But these niggas is out here on some like rise up to clear Israelites type shit. They always pick the wrong time to do that shit. And now you see why the Lord always brings that anger. Okay, like you quoted Luke 17:26, just like in the time of Noah. You see somebody in a serious mindset of building something that is an anomaly. Wouldn't you be intrigued to say, yo, time out, man, hold up. It's never rained before, but this guy is literally for years been building this ark. Like he actually has the belief that there's going to be some type of flood. Like what? It must be real. Maybe let me just get in contact with this dude and find out, hey, if what you're saying is true, for real, I want to be saved, man. Whatever you doing, let me jump in on that. But no, what did the people do? They came against him. As a matter of fact, they were so bold. They told him, yo, you wasting your time, bro. Yo, it ain't gonna rain. It's never rained before. Fuck is you doing? Don't waste your time, bro. Come chill with us. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's at. Come make mirth. You see? But what did Noah do? He just kept on building until the day where the ark's door was closed, and then everybody started, hey Noah, hey Noah, listen, bro. I was here last week. I saw you building. I said, damn, this man has been building for years, man. Like I told you, save a room for me. I was drinking. We drink together. How come? You know what I'm saying? What happened, bro? We was all cool at one point. Now you out here building an ark and shit, looking all crazy. At first I thought you was crazy, but now not so much. What we gonna do about that, Noah? But at that point, it wasn't up to Noah. You don't think Noah knew more people than just his family? You don't think he had friends in the world just like we do? But guess what? You don't think all those years when he was prophesying and building the ark, he wasn't warning them? His work he was doing on the earth at that time was a testament. They witnessed it and they laughed at him. Okay? Same thing we're doing today. People see what we're doing and they laugh at us, right? Because it looks crazy, just like back then. See, the Lord does things like this so he can weed out those he doesn't want. Okay, if you could see all this stuff that's going on, this confusion, and you could see through that, you're special. You have some eyes. Okay, you could see shit. But those who don't see the things, like they're blind anyway, they can't see. The Lord don't need them. What the fuck you gonna use them for? Just to cause more problem for those who can see? Get the fuck out the way, man. You out the way. Just get burnt up and then pave the way for those who can see. And that's the elect. All right. But I just want to get this real quick. There's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 21, and verse 9. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Right? When you go to that word furbished, it means to make it polished, right? To polish something. When you polish it, that means you're ready to use it. It's glittering. That means it's super sharp. Okay? Like sometimes there'd be knives where it's so sharp, you put it to the side of your skin and it cuts. You don't have to make any motion. Just right there, and you see the slice right there. That's how sharp this knife is, man. Okay? It says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? Terrible slaughter. This is not like, oh, it just went, oh, the Lord just slew 10,000 people. This is millions of people, if not billions. The plans that these devils have, they said by the end of this year, they want to see at least 5 billion people out the way. 5 billion, that's a lot of people. And we're in what? We're in April? About to be into May. So we're about to see things pick up, man. Just watch. It says, it is furbished that it may glitter. Okay, that means when it's so shiny, when you turn it and the sun hits it, it shines back at you. You know, you see when something is so bright, it got different colors. Like you got the green, the red. It's like almost like rainbow colors because it's so fucking sharp. Yeah, that type of shit, man. You're gonna be seeing your face in that shiny glittering sword, man. All right, it says, should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every green tree, or as every tree, Slakia. Okay. Should we then make mirth? Meaning, should we be out here in a good spirit? Should be laughing, drinking, having a good old time? No, nigga. When you hear people, when there's gunshots, right? A smart person, when there's gunshots, you don't go outside and be like, hey, yo, what y'all doing? Popping bottles. You don't do that. You don't do that. Everybody, oh shit, what the fuck? You ducking? You know, hey, what's going on? What the hell was that? As a matter of fact, you wait for the shots to be quiet. Then you're gonna be like, oh, what's going on? Go find out the aftermath of what happened. But in the heat of the battle, you're not gonna be putting your head out to try to see. Any dumbass who do that, they get their head blown off, and then what? Right? So it's the same thing. We're in the spirit of seeing what's going on, and we're preparing ourselves. Right? We're the ones who's like, okay, yo, this is coming. Yo, get the blinds, cover the blinds. Make sure the lights is working. Make sure you have the water. Make sure you have this. That's the preparation we're doing. You got people who doing the prepper preparation. We are doing the proper preparation. Right? Prepper preparation and proper preparation. We are the ones who is doing that. Okay, we're the ones who's getting the food, we getting the water, we getting the groceries that we gonna need, the first aid kit that we gonna need, right? The light, the candles, all the stuff that we gonna need. We the ones who's preparing with that in mind. Meanwhile, everybody else is just living life like ain't nothing gonna happen until the oil runs out. Then they're gonna start looking. All right, y'all brothers got it.
That's right. Where we at with it?
This book of Luke, chapter 17 and 21 of Salaki, verse 26, and it reads, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man.
Yeah, just like we just described. So how was it the days of Noah?
They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage unto the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Right. So now it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with eating and drinking. No. What the emphasis here is that in the time of Noah, he was preparing for destruction. Okay. So he was in a sense of urgency, but he was preparing for destruction. What they were doing was they were living in a time of like everything was all good, even up until the point of the very destruction. And that's a similar thing right now. People don't move with a sense of urgency. They don't move with a sense of fear. They don't move with a sense of godliness. They move as though, like the scripture saying in Psalms 49, their inward thought is that their houses are going to continue forever. So that's how they live. They live thinking that danger's right around the corner, but it'll always stay around the corner. It'll never cut the corner. So I'm still good. So long as it's over there, I'm going to still do what I'm doing over here. And their mindset and reasoning is that, what can I do about it anyway? What am I supposed to do about what's going on with Iran and the US? Nobody's asking you to go and do something about that. Obviously, you can't. Do you see us doing something about it? Clearly, we can't do anything about it, genius. But it's what it means for you. That's what you need to understand. What you should be doing for yourself is what we're trying to tell you here. But they think that, you know what, whatever's going to happen has happened. YOLO, okay. You're going to find out what that actually means. These people are in a state of delusion. They think that, you know what, if I die, I die. But they haven't met the Most High. That's why. Go ahead.
And the flood came and destroyed them all.
Yeah, see, when the flood came and was destroying them all, yeah, they were singing a different tune at that point, right? That the eating and drinking and all that wasn't as important, was it? The ark was important. See, Noah could really be relieved, like, yo, you know, I'm glad that I put in all that work to build this ark, because that's what matters right now. You could have married 5 of the baddest women on the planet Earth. Guess what? They drowned and you drowned. So did your kids. So your grandparents. That the new house you bought now is underwater. You know, what is it of the things that they were doing that actually lasted? Nothing. Not even them. The only thing that lasted was the actual work Noah put in, and then for him and his family. That's what lasted. It's the same thing now. They're gonna realize that nothing they're doing now is gonna last, except when you what you're doing to follow the instructions of the Lord. So this is what's gonna last. This is like spiritually building the ark. And people, that's why it says, just like it was in the time of Noah, it's going to be in the times of the Son of Man. Go ahead.
Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sowed, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Yeah, that's that scarce deliverance, right? That very same day, that destruction came upon those very people over there. Sudden destruction. They weren't expecting that. So likewise, that's how it's going to be here. And another thing that's in common in all of those situations is the Lord delivered the godly before that destruction came. And then he reserved the ungodly onto that destruction, onto that judgment. Now let's go back to 2 Esdras 15.
This is 2 Esdras 15 and 15.
Okay, 15, yeah.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh,
Mhm.
and nations shall rise up against one another with swords in their hands.
Those are weapons. Nations, you have nations. Right now, you have that going on. Okay, like nations on a high level, you know, and then you have nations in terms of just people, right? Because nations are made of people. You know, countries are made of people. Countries are made of different nations. So you're gonna have that happening internally. Right now, literally the sentiment right now is them against us. You know, when you talk to a lot of Jake, the way they refer to Esau is like them. Okay, not on some like we're all humans. No. It's them, white people. Okay, that's literally what it is. And so that awareness, okay, of the divide is very, very real. And as it says, nation shall rise against nation. That's not a thing that happens overnight. Oh, yesterday everybody was human. Now today, nation against nation. No, it's something that is a continual thing that builds up and builds up and builds up to where now you have an explicit line drawn where multiple sides are against each other, committing violent acts against each other. All they need is the conditions. Look at what happened during Hurricane Katrina. You think the Edomites were being buddy with Jake trying to help them out? Of course not. Good.
For there shall be no constancy with the people.
That's a lack of self-control. All right, people are not going to have any self-control. In fact, a lot of people don't have self-control now. A lot of them are highly medicated, and the only thing that's keeping them back from your house is the fact that they're still a standing society. You know, it's the fact that if they come and break into your house, what's going to happen? You're going to call 911. You know, somebody's going to come looking for them and X, Y, and Z. Right? They got to deal with consequences. But when all hell breaks loose, there are no consequences. Nobody's going to come looking for them. They come into your house today, tomorrow's the same thing. They just go into the next person's house. Okay?
And when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard the kings nor princes.
See that? So the regard for kings and princes is what keeps law and order, right? You're afraid when the cops show up, freeze, get on the ground, X, Y, and Z. You know, oh, you're gonna get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You know, if you get caught, this, that, and the third. So when people stop regarding that because of as it goes on to say, lack of bread and great tribulation, it's going to lead to a lot of chaos. In fact, just recently you had attacks on this guy's house, Sam Altman. You know, people basically came in there, you know, somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at his house. You know, so people are showing you that they don't care about, you know, law and order anymore. And as they start to struggle more and more, hey, that dude that set that warehouse on fire, why did he do that? Because he was stressed. So you ain't paying me enough to survive. So why should I continue to work for you? Matter of fact, if I just left, if I just quit, it wouldn't make a difference. But if I hit you where it hurts and set that damn warehouse on fire, you're gonna lose some money, right? Now you're gonna know what it feels like. You know? So imagine a trend like that. You know, different warehouses just start going up in flames because workers setting this shit up, saying that, look, you need to pay us more. We're not falling for this shit. We're not gonna take it. We ain't doing that shit. Beat us, nigga. Go ahead.
and practice violence in all their dealings.
See that? Practice violence in all their dealings. Like that immigrant who went and hammered that lady at the gas station. He hammered her till she was dead. And I'm talking about with an actual hammer. Right in her head. Boom, 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 boom. Beam. And then that's it. Got back in his car and he's out of there. Now what? Now she's gone. See, I mean, I don't know why she thought, what was she actually going to go do? I don't know what the case was, if there was an altercation or if she, you know, whatever the case is. But you see her walk out the store and she's walking up to him and he's walking up to her. Now you see a man walking up to you with that and he look like that and you see that aggression on his face, you better turn around and go lock the doors inside that damn store.
Hey, that's a huge omen, because I also saw a video, I think it was this morning, where there was this Jake lady. I forget exactly what state this happened in, but she went up and I guess there was a situation with parking and somebody had hit her car or got too close, something. So she got out to confront the guys who did that, and it happened to be a bunch of dudes, bunch of niggas. And they're in the car, and she goes out and she's talking her shit like, oh, why did you hit my car? You got clothes, this and that. And they're not saying anything. They're not using words. She just going in there talking shit. She comes back out, and I guess she had a you know what, in her hand, a modern day boat, right? She got that in her hand, and you know, she started pointing at them, whatever. But she didn't pull the trigger. She didn't put the arrow in there. So she just playing around, fucking whatever. And one of the dudes just came out, bah, she out of there. I'm like, oh shit, just like that. Oh, okay, word. So right then and there, I said, yo, that's literally how the Lord is going to turn up the spirit real soon, because these women are conditioned, the Babylonian women, they're confused as just like Babylon anyway, right? They embody the spirit of Babylon. So when you see the shit that happens to them, nobody feels bad. I'm not going to feel bad for a woman, a big black woman, going up in front of a whole bunch of niggas just talking mad shit. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. When you go to different countries, women understand that you don't have the same physical power as a man. Okay, men are bred and built to they want blood. That's why we go to war. Okay, women are not built for that. It's only in America that they deceive you women to thinking all this whole bullshit about feminism and all that. What happened? Fast forward feminism to 2026, and what's going on? You got a bunch of women, like 10 of them, lined up wearing the same color clothing, and they laid on their back with their legs up in the air, tied behind their neck, or some tapping their ass on some like, this is what we do now. Like, well, women empowerment. Like, we all come together and do this whole ass shit. It went from don't objectify me, I don't want to be under a man's rule, to now you just out there looking all crazy as hell, man. Like, this is what happened to feminism, bro. You destroyed women. Okay? Now you got women thinking that, oh, if a man come into my life and he ain't ready to pay my bill, at least one bill, we ain't going out. Bitch, fuck you, man. Who the fuck want to do some bullshit like that? Right? So now it's like, all basically you got prostitutes, you got whores, you got sluts popping up here. Now they become influencers. That's why most women are influenced with that kind of mindset. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to put nothing on the table. I'm just going to bring up here and just tell you, hey, if you ain't paying no bills, you can't take me out. Take you out. Take you out. Yo, we got to call the nigga. No, Patrick. He's going to take you out. You know? But that's what's coming, man. And there's going to be a lot more women who are going to be put to death. If you're influenced by Sophie Rain, you're going to be getting put to death soon, because all these niggas that seen you on the OnlyFans and the Instagram and the whatever apps they have going on nowadays for women to be hoes, guess what? These men are tracking you. All these apps, it's easy for you to be tracked anyway. All a nigga got to do is use AI to track, put a few pictures together, track this sign right here, track that time right here, track the city right here. Next thing you know, they match everything and be like, oh, she live right here. I'm coming for her. Niggas could do that. The government does that. How much more regular people? You see what I'm saying? So you women have a lot to think about. You think life is just about vanity and putting yourself out there. You're endangering yourself, man. Okay? And I saw a video the priest Amwan Gabar did about a woman that had a dream. Okay, she had a dream about basically being attacked until she started to call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and the men of GMS, giving apostles double honors. And then all of a sudden, she said, I believe Amwan Gabar and other brothers pulled up on her to help her out. Okay? But it's to show you that you have a spirit on this earth. People don't believe in spirits, but there are spirits on this earth that actually make things happen. Okay? Just like we read about spirits in the scriptures, there are spirits on earth that are built to do certain things, man. Okay? To lay on sore strokes and all that. Spirits of vengeance, right? So remember, nobody's gonna feel bad. And the best part about the video, after they had knocked her out, she out of there, her ass in the spirit world, the nigga proceeds to back up and drive on the curb over her dead body and just drove off like it's nothing, man. I said, oh shit, it went that far. And there was no words. He didn't have to say nothing. Oh yeah, this big. No, he finished, papa. Boom, get in the car, back up, drive over the curb, drive over her body, and just keep it going. And everybody said like, oh. Nobody came there to, yo, my man, what's going on? Hey, I'm gonna shoot you back. Nope. They saw it. Everybody, oh shit, I don't want no parts of that. And then boom, drove off. And that's the spirit the Lord has put on these men. It's going to be a lot more vicious very soon. You're going to be hearing the story like, hey, this nigga did what to her? Yo, he mashed her face with what? With a brick? Damn, why would he do? Just, yo, leave, bro. And then you read the comments, bitches talking about, oh, this is why we need to talk to men about their emotions. I'm like, you lost just like all the other hoes, man. The judgment that's coming for these women for living that careless life. Let's get that real quick and I'm going to pass it. Okay, living that careless life. This was about to happen to you, man. All right, this is a book of Isaiah, chapter 32. All right, and verse 9, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Right? Listen to me, you careless daughters, man. Listen to what the men of the Lord are telling you. That's the way you're going to get your life saved. If you want to play this, I could do anything I want. Ain't nobody going to tell me what to do. I can always call the cops or whatever. You're putting yourself at risk. Don't listen to these hoes that be on the internet talking shit about things they don't do. You listen to that, your life is not like them. You don't got thousands of dollars like them. You don't got money like them. Okay, they got money and they're still in trouble. How much more you? All right, so just pay attention to your life. Figure out how you're going to survive your life right now and try to find a real man that can help you. Because if you by yourself thinking you're going to be on some hot girl summer shit, girl, you are sadly mistaken, man. All right, it's going to be a very cold day out there. And guess what? Ain't nobody going to come in there, wrap you up with some blanket talking about, oh, you cold? I got you, baby girl. Don't worry about it. Nah, they're going to come snatch whatever clothes you got on you and put it on their ass. These niggas is wearing fucking skin tight netting and shit like that, walking around with bro, it's mad crazy shit going on, bro. Niggas want to be like women so bad. It's insane. They competing with the women. It's insane, bro. Right? It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Okay, so get ready for that too. The famines, all right, the benefits that you were always getting. All right, you got black women complaining that SNAP is not going to pay for their candy and sweets and all that, so now they're losing their mind. Bitch, go get some real food and exercise and look good, man. What the fuck is you talking about? All right, do something with your life, man. Stop living like a damn Babylonian, bro. Live like an actual human being for once, bro. Shit is annoying, man. That's why the Lord's going to purge all these hoes out, man. All right, just a waste of breath out here. All right, it says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. That's the same exact thing the Lord told Babylon, Isaiah 47. The way he's going to strip you, he's going to make you naked, bare, all that. That's a form of shame. All right, because women don't feel guilt. All right, it's always, oh, you did something that made me do this, or you did something that made me say this, or whatever. They're never guilty. They feel shame because they were caught, or they're embarrassed because of something they did. They're not guilty for what they did. They don't feel bad like, oh, I'm sincerely sorry for the pain I caused this nigga. Nah, it's I'm sincerely sorry because I got caught doing this dumb shit. That's why. Okay, it says they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. All right, so it's not enough that you see women crying about how it's hard to get a job now, or they have a job but like they can't make their bills and they can't pay rent and all this different. it's gonna get worse. Okay, it's gonna get worse. All these jobs that's left, the only way you're gonna be able to actually live a life, because Elon Musk and them are telling you you're not gonna have no jobs no more. We're gonna give you a UBI. So eventually, a lot of you women, you're just gonna be property. Okay, you're not gonna serve no purpose besides sex. All right, that's what we've been telling you from day one. If you're not with a real man who's gonna protect you and take good care of you, you're gonna be out there for the wolves. And guess what? The wolves gonna tear your ass up and invite the bears and the lions and all them niggas that's gonna be coming over there. And guess what they're gonna do? Stole that shit, nigga. That's what they're gonna be doing to your ass. You brothers got it.
Hey, well, they did say they'd rather the bear, so they go ahead and have the bear. You know, just like the brother said, man. It's the common board. It's the common board ones. You know, I mean, you see some of the most infuriating, nonsensical madness on the common board. Absolutely has nothing to do with the video, and it's just like it's a comment that's posted, and the question is why. And you click on the profile picture and you see exactly why. You know, you're like, damn, man, what's wrong with people, man? Like, you can't even think. Like, is this how you actually reason? We need to sit down and talk to men about their emotions. What is that going to do? You know, you ask them, so what's your plan, actually? Go ahead. You want to sit down and talk to men about the emotions? Go grab that migrant that hammered the lady in the head. Try getting him to sit down in the room with you, talk about his emotions. Then you'll see how he expresses emotions then. Go and sit down and talk to men about their emotions. Like you got yours in check. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, there's a lot of hypocrites in this world, man. And in that time, the Lord he's going to reveal that. He's going to reveal that. So go back. Go ahead. Where we're at. And like Haran was saying, man, you know, all it takes is just a couple brain cells. Just think ahead, man. Just stop living in this delusional world and just think ahead for a second. You know, what happens when you make yourself a prey and there's predators around? You know, what do you think is going to happen? You're a gazelle going in front of a hungry pride of lions around hunting time. You know, feeding time is afternoon, it's time for lunch, and you're going to go right around them. What do you think is going to happen to you? Go ahead.
I think that women is getting hot now. I think that just because skirt has a built-in short mechanism in it, y'all can wear them as short as can be.
Right.
But us men, all we see is a short skirt, and look any further, you're going to see the ass or whatever revealing parts there is. Y'all setting yourself up to be great, man. Y'all setting yourself up to be great. Because we're not looking at the short aspect of it. We're looking at a mini skirt aspect of that. And I think that y'all know that, but y'all think y'all protecting yourself by having the short mechanism built inside of it. But ain't nobody paying no attention to them things having pant leg finishes. That all we see is just a short skirt and a woman that's dressing, revealing to advertise herself, man.
Right.
We, men of the Lord, we have restraint, we have discipline, but there's other people that's predators that's looking, you know, that's waiting for the opportunity, man. And the opportunity is getting ready to present itself soon as society crash, man. Perfect day for this today, how y'all dressing today. It look ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the new standard of the average woman is to dress like a prostitute. See, when you go back, you know, maybe a decade or so, the way whores used to dress, what they call them sluts, thots, the way they used to dress is how the average woman dresses today. And as time goes on, it just keeps on going to the point where it's like women literally leave their house with nothing but a freaking hairnet on their body and nothing under. And you can literally see that they got nothing under. It's literally just a one dress, a short ass dress. What do you possibly think is gonna happen? You walking around at nighttime with that, you know, in a secluded area with dudes around. What do you like? Naturally, if you sit down and think about what you're doing for a second, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think the chances of you making it home untouched is gonna be? Go ahead.
I saw a video, I think it was yesterday, where a man was walking with his chick, and she also had on like just full hairnet as a dress, and then another Jake comes out of nowhere, picks her up and starts curling her.
Sure.
I'm like, yo, and her man is just watching it all, and then the chicken just there laughing and enjoying. So I'm like, nah.
Watching this girl be curled. Wow. Hey, you actually reminded me of a video I was watching. Now I don't know if the chick was his chick, but she was there with him, and he's some streamer. and obviously some Edomite looking dude, and basically he's with her in some area that looks like the hood. They're in the hood, and this nigga out here talking about, yeah. So he's out here, they're in there, and you can see in the video, basically you got a bunch of niggas touching on her. You know what I'm saying? They grabbing her up and shit, and she's uncomfortable, clearly, visibly uncomfortable. And he's just out here, he's around, and then the dude records like, yo, bro, you don't see, like he's like, yo, you a horrible ass nigga, like you don't see what they doing over there. He's like, oh damn, yo, what's she gonna do? What? Say, yo, what's she gonna do? He's like, yo, what's such and such signing in? What's she gonna do about it? Yo, that's mad crazy. And then she goes to another area, dudes are still doing the same thing, and the guy on the camera's like, yo, bro, what's wrong with you? You know? And he's like, oh damn, yo, they really touched, yo, she's crying, damn, yo, they really touched, yo, that's. And I'm looking at this shit like, yeah, you see a nigga like this. So what you see in there, which that's just one account, right? You had another one, which one they shouldn't even been there. First off, if you would do with common sense, there's certain areas that you just don't go. You know, just common sense tells you that you stay out of certain places. But there was another one, which I'm pretty sure we all saw on this one, where I don't know if they were in a foreign country, but the dude's girl got attacked, and this guy just like backed all the way up, went and hid behind the next column, waiting there while they was attacked, while his girl was trying to fight off the attacker who was trying to, I don't know if he's trying to steal her bag or something. And he just literally just ran away and went and hid somewhere the whole entire time. And then after that, he comes back, trying to see if like, oh, the coast is clear on some AGAG shit. I surely the death has passed from me. He comes in there on some the Lord of the Rings ugly ass demon shit. In my precious, you okay? And the bitch looking at him like, yo, like don't even. But this is going to show you that in that time, you're gonna have a lot of situations like this, and people ain't gonna be able to protect, or even right now, it's not even just about like having the physical power to. It's about having the mental fortitude as a man to be able to go into that like instinct of protect. But a lot of these so-called men, they're not men. They're a bunch of women. So of course they're gonna react like women in a time like that, and that's why women are gonna be looking for real men who can protect them. If a man got a spiritual power, you try that shit and get lasered in your freaking skull. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude shoots laser beams out his eyes right into your skull. End the story. Everybody around there is scattering. If they can escape, don't catch them like, you know who. Anyway, go ahead. And that's why it says that a man is going to be more precious than fine gold. Because not only are the men of the Lord going to be feared, but it's like, there's guaranteed protection over there. You know it. You're like, no, I need to be around this guy. There was like 10 dudes on me, and he just popped up in there, and instantly, he's like lifted his hand, and all 5 of them just flew in one direction, and another 5 flew in another direction. I know I'm safe with this guy. Go ahead.
It's 2 Ezra 15 and 16, and it reads, "For there shall be no constancy with the people, and when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard their kings nor princes."
Yeah, so they ain't gonna have, like today, they'll say he ain't gonna have no chill. Like Iran was going into that instance where the dude just got up. See, this chick got whatever she got her car hit, or it got real close to her car. If you gonna go up to a bunch of guys with a gun, which is a bad idea in the first place, and you think that, you know what, I'm gonna do this, but I know I'm not really about it. I'm not really gonna actually pull the trigger. Why the hell would you do that in the first place? That's like going to smack a hornet's nest knowing that you crippled and you can't run. You in a wheelchair, you're gonna go smack a hornet's nest and then sit there and turn around. Like, you ain't even gonna run, you just gonna turn around. Like, oh, I can't see the hornet's nest, so that means they can't see me. Them hornets are gonna come around, they don't even go to the back of her head. Go and face the bitch, you know what I'm saying? And then attack. That's what you do when you go and do some shit like that, and then you get stung, and you wonder why you got stung.
Just as in One Piece, as Shank said, if you pull a sword, be prepared to die by the sword.
Hey, how I said that, right? He said that. So it's about a mindset that a lot of people don't have. Like David, right? David had a mindset that even the strongest of even Saul, which was the king. Now Saul wasn't weak. Remember, Saul, like he was of stature. He knew how to fight, but even he was afraid. And David came in there with the mindset. So it wasn't David's physical prowess, but it was the spirit that he had in him that allowed him to do something that even those that were more physically stronger than him couldn't do. Yes, son?
Yeah, that's heavy that you said that, because earlier when y'all was speaking, I was thinking about that example. I was like, I'll bring it up later, but that's where that made you bring it up. As in the I forget what we were talking about before that made me think about that, but it's the spirit that the Lord has given the elect. We look at worldly events way different from how people look at it. For example, there's been many instances where I was not like aware of something, and I came in oblivious to it, and I'll ask a question, like a simple question. Yo, why are we not getting this done? And the answer is, oh, because there's something over there. I'm like, what is that thing? Move it out the way then. And it's like, nah, it's not even like that. It's just like the way you got it. I'm like, so I'll go in there, and then it's like something so simple, boom, 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 done. But everybody else, for some reason, it was just like that obstacle was something that was just so overwhelming. They were just, oh, I can't do it. Oh, but David, he was the same spirit in the sense of when you have a higher power, things that most people will look at as a problem or a threat, you don't see that threat. You don't see it as a threat anymore. You just look at it as, why can't this be done? What the fuck y'all waiting for? You know, that kind of thing. So when David pulled up on the scene and you have the men, the mighty men of Israel standing across from Goliath, they were on one side of the hill, you had another side, and you had a valley in between. And Goliath's talking his shit, defying the gods of our God, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and the men of Israel, the warriors of Israel, to the point where Saul was shook. And then now they had to, okay, well, any man that's going to put up with Goliath and his bullshit, I'm gonna give you Saul's wife, that kind of thing. And all these men are up there like thinking like, yo, man, who gonna step up
His
to this?
daughter. His daughter.
What I say?
His daughter. His wife.
Oh, his daughter, Salat. His daughter, yup. Micah, I think that was her name, right? So, they're all standing there. The oldest of Jesse's sons, David's older brothers, are all standing there. David comes up and he's like, yo, why y'all letting this uncircumcised heathen talking shit to us and our God, man? What the fuck is going on here? And they're like, what you mean what the fuck is going on? You see that nigga? You see who the fuck? It's like, look, what is to be done if somebody takes this nigga out? They say, oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, I see what you up to now. You a young boy. Go back to tend the sheep. This is grown man business here, David. You have no business over here. I see why you came. You just wanted to come here to see what's actually going on over here. He said, nah, Dad sent me to bring you guys some food. I'm just checking in to see how y'all doing. But then I pull up here and then I see this fucking whole ass nigga standing over there talking all this shit. And y'all standing here looking at him. What's going on? And then he says, well, hey, the king said whoever takes this nigga out, you could have his daughter. So then David goes in and he's like, hey, let me go talk to this dude. And Saul's looking at him like, who's this boy? And why is he put my armor on him? And it's so heavy. David is like, Saul's tall. And David is a young man. This shit is like, he's swimming in that shit. It's so big. He's swimming in the fucking armor, And then what did he say? Oh, I haven't proved this. I can't prove that. This is not me. Like, I don't need all this shit. I have something greater than this armor. And that's Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Now watch this. Boom. He went up there, took 5 stones. And then what did he do? 5 represents power. And what did he do? He took him out. And all these men, what happened? David, what? They all started chasing after the Philistines. The Philistines booked it. And what did David do? Little ass men ran up, took his sword, and then took his head off and then took it home. All right. That's the power that the Lord put on David to show his might. All right. He didn't need I need to prove this. I need to go train, do all this shit. Nah, with just 5 stones. All these men that were standing there, they've had years. You don't think Abner was there? Abner was the captain of the host. And he was standing next to Saul. And they were all shook, man. So what happened there? All right. So it's the same thing. When the Lord is dealing with you, problems of the world don't look like problems no more. Like people might look at Trump or the military and be like, damn, America, man, the Trump military. We see them as like, you guys are just men. The Lord's going to do away with y'all in quick succession. You see, we don't see them as the worldly threat that they are. We just look at them as just regular people. You see, we look at problems like just regular problems because there's nothing too great for the Lord to solve. When you think of the Lord, you're like, Lord, you could do anything. You could do anything. You could do everything. So I'm not worried when I come in your name, right? It's the same thing that the same spirit David was in, the same spirit we in. That's why we speak so boldly against the system. But everybody else is like, you can't speak against them. Yo, you're going to get canceled. Or they might just come to your house and kidnap you. And what? Nigga, they're not going to do shit. Because we come in the name of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, man. And modern day Goliath will be taken down and slain, just like back then, man. All right, by the house of David. Okay? You got it, bros.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because all it took is faith, you know, and the power of the Lord is much stronger than any, you know, carnal power. See, so and when you look at it, like Haran said, literally, like David didn't need to go learn kung fu and MMA and all. He literally just used the same tools he used in the wilderness. You know, when he was tending to his father's sheep with stones and a sling. Who would have thought, right? But it all went according to the Lord's plan. You know, so that's the power of faith. So, like Haran said, when we look at, you know, how the world is moving, we're not, you know, we're not looking at it like we're gonna be out here trying to use carnal strength to fight there. Nah, if that's what you had to use, then you might be worried. You're like, how the fuck you gonna take out special forces with nah, bro? It don't work that way. But we expect, you know, deliverance from the Lord. And when you have that mindset, there's nothing that bothers you, because you're like, yo, it really, the power from the Lord is overkill. Absolutely. Even the if he gave you a tiniest fraction of his power, it's overkill. But shit, I'd rather be overpowered than to get, you know, be underpowered. You know? So we know that with the faith of the Lord, there ain't no problem that's gonna come and affect us. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be able to overcome them all with ease. If that's when the Lord shows his power, he wants to let you know that, like, this is me, this is my power. Right? When Samson took down 1,000 Philistines with the power of the Lord, the Philistines knew, like, yo, he's a problem because of his God. Like, they knew that about Israel. They said these guys are a problem because of their God. Because their God, Heliodorus, he understood that. You can't go in there. Look, let me tell you something, bro. I'm not a Jew, but I'll explain to you very, very carefully what I've been through. You don't want to, you only send your enemies to that place. You know what I'm saying? And if they come back alive, they're going to come back right. You know? So the Lord's reputation always precedes him. Why would he give us spiritual power and then we go get our ass beat? You know, brothers got spiritual power. We charge up in there, come back with soul and eyes, busted lips. You know what I'm saying? Broken limbs and shit. Hey, I think we're gonna need a little bit more of that power, Lord. This shit get hot though. You know what I'm saying? Bro, what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was gonna add to you that you know, like you said, when the Lord gives you something, it's not like when the Lord really blesses you up, just like the brother was going into the example of King David. The Lord blesses you on a really high level, man. On a level where, like, you expected one thing and then he far exceeds that. See, so there's another scripture where it says, my cup done runneth over. You know, so imagine now the Lord gave us a cup running over of this knowledge and wisdom and understanding, because the time calls for it, because there's so much lies and deception. So now when the time calls for it and there's an overwhelming scourge of the enemy, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be an upgrade on everything that you see that the Lord endowed us with. It's going to be upgraded, man. Just like in when you go into the Maccabees, okay? The Lord said it's nothing to cast down many with a small host.
Yep, let's find that.
We go into that show Invincible. If brothers watch the show Invincible with Omni-Man. Omni-Man brought the earth one man, and this is obviously, you know, it's fantasy, but really they get that from the scriptures, okay? Because the Viltrumites represent the Israelites. And this one man, Omni-Man, brought the whole earth to its knees. Okay, now if they could do that and imagine that, all right, in a fantasy world of animation, whatever, you know, storytelling, all of the stories come from the scriptures. So we have examples. It ain't like we just making this up. Samson, David, Gideon, the Maccabees, okay? Miracles that was done by, you know, none greater than Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? And you know, his disciples who became apostles after him. All right. Hezekiah, in the time of Hezekiah and Isaiah, the Lord sent an angel and took out 185,000 of the Assyrian host, man. So now imagine, this is even worse than the Assyrian host. They could have 1 million troops outside your house just to come get you, because they know that power is coming, man. It's in all the movies, man. They consider you an Omega level threat. Certain of the X-Men, they were so powerful, they're like, nah, he's an Omega level threat. They could send 1 million troops, and the Lord, they wake up the next day and the angel of death came and they all dead bodies. And you the only one living for miles. And then what? You see? So these are things that can and will happen. Miraculous deliverance, man. That's the point.
Yeah, get that precept for you. And yeah, start with Isaiah 59.
This book of Isaiah 59:1, and it reads, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
Right. So we know the Lord's hand, his ability, his power, his hand is not shortened, right? Meaning that the Lord is not insufficient. His power is not insufficient to save or to deliver us. How is it that his power created everything, but it's insufficient to deliver you from something that he has actually created, right? It's like you building a miniature city, but you don't have the power to be able to move one thing over here, move one thing over here, something like that. That doesn't make sense, right? So the Lord, his power is not insufficient, and neither is it that he can't hear us. So if we got all that down, what is it that we got to worry about? We know he can hear us, and we know he's more than capable of delivering us, and we know that we're doing the things that he said he would deliver us for. So now what's the problem? There is none. You don't have a reason to fear, you don't have a reason to doubt. You just gotta wait. That's all it is. Right now it's just a waiting game. It's literally just a waiting game. We don't have to play catch up. We know what we got to do, and we're doing it. Now we're waiting upon the Lord to, kick things into the next phase. But until then, we wait. When you read about the prophets of old, it wasn't that every single day something was happening in their life. Sometimes, the Lord will come to a prophet and they'll go do something, and 3 years later, the word of the Lord came back onto him. What you think Isaiah was doing for those 3 years? He was living his life. He was a man, he had life, he was living his life, just like all the other prophets. Sometimes it'd be 7 years later. Then the word of the Lord came back, Jeremiah, I need you to go and do this. So they had to live, they had to, wait that time out, living their regular life. So it's the same thing with us, right? We do what we got to do daily, but we got to wait for the Lord to kick and turn things up. And he's about to do it. We're coming up into the month of May. A lot of things happen during May, especially with this being the 250th, is it 50th? I think it's 250th, right? Yeah. 250th year of the U.S. And they've been mentioning that. They themselves have been mentioning that. So they got plans already set up for this time. And you have this whole, what's very interesting is you had a whole lot of changes within the administration, the Trump administration. On top of that, he said he would pardon them when he leaves office. So what is this guy really saying? You got a lot of people in certain positions that are like, they're stepping down, they're leaving. It's like, why? What's going on in there that's causing you to leave? When you watch the TV shows like The Boys, you really get a good picture of what the inside behind the scenes looks like. The majority of the show is about what's going on behind the scenes. And then you see what they actually make it look like. The PR stunts, the stories they tell. You could have people that are literally mortal enemies that come out on TV and look like they're a couple. What's going on over here? You know what I mean? So we know what's really like behind the stories when they come out and tell you, oh, everything is going just fine. Bro, you just had a freaking world-breaking disaster happen. You just found out about it. You come on TV and say everything is going fine. So that's literally how they play the game. So if you're here believing everything they tell you, everything is going fine. But they just said that U.S. is now going to start boarding Iranian ships. They're basically going to start seizing their tankers because Iran fired on some boats that were trying to pass through the strait. So how is everything going fine? When he says everything is going fine, he means on their end, right? He doesn't mean it's going to go fine for you. No. He says that, but you think that means, oh, the peace is coming. No, ain't no peace coming.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, and Trump recently said that the gas prices ain't high.
Yeah,
y'all bugging. But he's a billionaire.
Yep.
So obviously that's not high for him.
Mm-hmm.
For everyday people, paying double the price for gas,
right,
which is almost double what it was like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. That is a big deal. But he said, no, it's not a big deal. So now when they raise it even higher, then what is he going to say then? The same thing. Mm-hmm. Well, because you know what he said? He said that's a small price to pay that Iran doesn't have a nuke.
Right.
See?
Right.
So they're just going to keep moving the goalposts. Now, $4 a gallon is the accepted truth.
Right.
It ain't going nowhere.
Right.
It's been like that. It's going to continue to get worse. Mm-hmm. Now, when they up the ante, well, oh shit! Now, listen, this is the price to pay. You want freedom, right? You want you don't want to be bothered by the Persians, right? So this is the price to pay. But they don't tell you the other part of it, and really, they're setting up, and it looks like Iran is in on the whole shit. Mm-hmm. Because they want to. You know how Esau functions. He tries to get people to sell out.
Yep.
And they're kind of, if you look at what's happening, and I was talking to the brother Debar about this earlier on the way here, that they're positioning Iran as its own global power. Because all these other nations, Venezuela was a small fry. They had no chance to stand up against the big empire, mm-hmm, but Iran is clearly giving them problems, mm-hmm, right? So now they're positioning them, and if you see Trump kind of like try to sweet talk them sometimes, like, yeah, the Iranians, man, you know, they're a great empire, blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute he's cursing them out, telling them he's going to tear their whole country down. You see, but they're positioning them because once again, that MOTB system, they're going to put it in place. And Iran, they want them to be a part of it. With the Strait of Hormuz, all of that has to be locked into this one world government, this one world beast system, all right, where everything is tracked. So they want to bring them in, but they're going to kick their ass, and then they're going to try to make that deal eventually. But in the process, they're going to bring the world economy down. And that's how it's playing out. So you got to look behind the headlines. Like the brother, you did a lesson on that. It was a Yapa lesson. And we have to have the comfort of knowing the script. They're going to say what they're going to say, but what's actually going on? What's happening? Right. The troops are moving over there. Right. So what's up with that? But no, it's all good. It's all over with. But why are you still moving troops then? Mm-hmm. See, because you got to, again, watch what they do, not what they say, because they are liars. If they told the truth, that would make the Most High a liar, because he said that they're liars. See?
Right now, the Lord is turning their so-called proxy war into the world war, because they're taking this as like an orchestrated event where it's watered down more than what we know. Because Trump already knows what the outcome of this is going to be in his projection. Because of the globalists sit down at the table, they already have played this out already. But the Lord is turning it around for them, making it more than what they expect, you know? So when they trying to push that globalist agenda, the Lord is going to push them into World War III no matter what, right? You know? Because they playing with fire, you know? They play board games, you know? But with the AI technology, all it takes is one little slip up, right? And this is where it's going to, but they're going to let AI decide how this plays out. And all it takes is the Lord to let them press the button unknowingly. It causes that unwanted war. But they don't want it. They don't want World War III because they know what it's going to turn into. But they like promoting fear in the eyes of the people to make the people think, yeah, we in World War III. But they don't want it. But it's going to come regardless if the Lord wants that to happen.
And if you look, Elon Musk been talking a lot. He's not just saying universal income. He's saying universal high income. So they really up in the ante of trying to pull you people in. And basically he's saying it was like an 80% chance. I don't know if you saw that video. He said there's an 80% chance that everything will go great, you know? But this man is prideful, you know, because that small percentage of what he thinks is 20%, that's the 100% of what's going to happen. It's going to go bad. All right. But they have to market it that way because obviously people have their reservations about AI. It's poisoning people over there in Memphis. People are dying and the noise pollution is ridiculous. They're polluting the water because it takes immense amount of water to cool those AI systems, and they're going to keep building them. So it's like, yeah, you get this comfort of AI, you know, living your life for you and doing everything for you, but the earth is being destroyed in the process. So nothing comes for free when you deal with this devil. That's why he's known as that old serpent. Right? From the beginning, he's always been a deceiver and a liar, man. You cannot trust a thing he says. So the Iranians are really stupid to even engage in these talks with them. That's foolish. You had a sense of the upper hand to at least defend your country because they made their country into a fortress for this day. But then you go back to the bargaining table. That's why all you heathens just need to be put under, you know, because y'all keep going along with this man. See, and eventually they're gonna get to the point where they are gonna fire their missiles, but they're still gonna be involved with that beast system before that happens. So all you heathen just need slavery. That's the end conclusion that we will have to come to.
Right. And when you think about it, you know, it is necessary, right? Because the original outlook globally was that Iran was holding their own. But if Iran holds its own, what's the need for Russia to get involved? What's the need for China to get involved? If Iran holds its own and the U.S. is like, shit, we got to back off, that's not really going to do too well. So you got to have a case where they let go of that leverage, it starts going good, they start slipping, because Iran's going to need to be put in a position where they need a guard, you know. Russia not doing any quote unquote doing anything that's all strategic. The Russians are not idiots, and the Chinese, they're definitely not idiots. The Chinese, one of their main tactics that they use is literally just acting like they don't exist. for a long ass period of time. And they're doing everything underground, behind the scenes, underground, behind the scenes, underground. Just like when they released DeepSeek. A lot of people weren't even expecting it. And they're like, boom, all of a sudden, this is now this other AI agent model, DeepSeek. Where the hell this came from? And it was much more affordable and it's open source. But they didn't come out touting that, hey, we're working on this, or hey, we're doing this, so look out for that. No, they're really good at biting their tongue, not going for the bait of instant gratification, of being glorified because people have expectations for you. They just come out with the shit, you know? So they ain't gonna come out and tell you what their plans are. That's dumb. Same with Russia. But if they don't have a need to, they're not gonna look. When you decide to go into war, that's especially on behalf of another country, it has to be like it's necessary, because war means money. War means losses, casualties, all of these things. So before you jump up in there and say, boom, I'm here and I'm going to do it for you, you got to be ready to do, all right, cool. Is it really needed though? So it makes sense. But remember, a movie in itself, right? When I went to see the movie Sinners, I could sum it up for you in like one sentence, what the movie is really about. Okay. Like, or let me say the events that happen in the movie. Because really all that happened is the dude, the so-called main character, who was a church boy, went out one day to go and play music for this event that these two, Michael B. Jordan and his twin were hosting. And then over that whole night, vampires showed up and there was a whole lot of death, and then he ended up going back home. That's all the movie's about. I just summed it up for you. But it's close to 2 hours of a movie. So you now like, wait, but the actual thing that happens is like can be summed up in less than a sentence, which takes like less than 10 seconds to say, but yet I had to sit here for close to 2 hours just to watch this play out. Yes, because that's how a movie works. The script is one sentence. The visualization is 2 hours. So we know when we read the script in Ezekiel 38, you can break that down in like 40 minutes, or 30 minutes. But when it actually plays out, that's when you have weeks, months, because every scene they're going to be a guard. Well, how does that actually look? What makes them a guard? What makes Russia a guard to Iran? Why are they going to do it? How are they going to do all these intricacies have to play out in the movie? That's why it takes longer. And we got to you know what? Fuck it. Let's just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Let's just enjoy it. Because when you watch a certain movie that or you've already seen before, you're like, yo, I can't wait till they get to this part. This part's really good. This part's really good. Yeah, I forgot this part was in there. All right, skip. Go to this part. But we can't do that. Because the Lord is like, no. I want you to sit back and enjoy the movie, because you only get to enjoy it once. Once this is over, that's it. There's no going back. There's no replaying. It's only once. And sometimes it isn't until after the fact that you really see the magnitude of what was happening in the moment. So you know what? It's like, all right, fine. Let it play out. We'll watch in detail and see what the Lord is doing, how he's doing it, what is going on here. And we'll see him soon. When more events happen, we'll understand why this shit had to drag out. In fact, you'll be like, oh, damn, I'm glad it dragged out, because if that wasn't the case, we might have been here longer. Sometimes I was like, no, I got to do this so that this can happen. But you got to wait till you see that, so you see what I'm really trying to do for you here. Because the Lord, like you even said that, Haran, right? In Matthew 24, the Lord said the end is not yet. Now, Yahushua explicitly said the end is not yet. Why did he put that caveat in there? Why would he have to even mention that? Because if you really think about it, these prophecies are very closely intertwined. It's not going to take 10 years for these prophecies to be fulfilled. But yet he still mentioned the end is not yet, even though you're very close. So why did he say that? Because there must be something very important that still needs to happen before everything closes up. And if he didn't say that, because it's like a pause, there got to be a little break. If there wasn't any break, this thing would completely escalate. You know how quick they between February 28th, when they started dropping those bombs, and right now, the world could have been already destroyed by nuclear missiles. Yeah. Like literally, that could have happened in a week. All it takes is a continuous escalation. Boom, 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 boom. If Israel was to say we're going to drop a nuke on Iran, that would have been a freaking, not a pocket nuke, an actual nuke. That would have been a trigger to a global war, because the second somebody has done it, the next is going to retaliate with it. So it really could have taken 2 weeks, and the whole freaking America would have been destroyed. But the Lord is like, no, when is that the seed hip gonna come out? You know, when are all the other parts of prophecy gonna play out if I just have that happen? No, 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 no. Then you ain't getting your Isaiah 4:1. Because you're gonna get missiles and these bitches gonna be burnt. You know? So which one you want? So you know what, Lord? You got it. You got it. We want to experience the spiritual power. We want to experience the actual story being written. Because in the kingdom, when we look back at it, we want to be able to read that story and be like, yeah, like this is yes, yes, yes. That was us. We did that. I remember that. We were in the midst of it. Got it.
2 Peter 3:7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store.
You see that? They're kept in store. So the Heavenly Father has, when you keep something in store, you preserve it. But it's for a certain moment. You know, certain people, you go to their house, right? You go to their house and they got like a wine cellar and they got different bottles of wine in there. And it could be there for a long time, but it's waiting for the right occasion. You know, you don't just buy wine just for decorations. I mean, some people might, but eventually when the right occasion comes up, they'll be like, no, hold on, I got something. And they open, they go to the back, perfect, this is the one, you know? So when you keep something in store, it's for a purpose. When Joseph had them store up the food in the storehouses, now imagine Joseph had them stored and the famine comes in, they don't open it, keep the storehouses closed. We ain't using that shit. Hey, so why did you store it? You know? So when you keep something in store, it's for use at a later time.
Hey, our culture is all about patience.
Right.
There's even scriptures in the Apocrypha that says, like, don't be the first one to put your hand out when there's a meal. There's a certain process. Everybody's plate got to get laid out. You know, the cutlery got to be placed out. You got to make sure you got all your sides and everything. And then there's an order to things, you know. And the Lord just don't do like, you know, all right. That's how Esau operates, you know. He's rash. And even in his rashness, the Lord be holding him back. See, I'm going to read this. It says, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment.
See that?
And perdition of ungodly men.
So it's reserved unto fire against the day of judgment, the time of judgment, and perdition, which is destruction of ungodly men. So the Lord got it all set up. The last domino ain't supposed to fall before the middle one falls. Okay? All of them gotta fall. Go ahead.
Lord, he's the missing link. He's the ultimate piece of that's going to end the game.
Right.
You understand? This is Romans 26, where it reads, verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. So he's going to make sure that he put the final touches on the pieces to the puzzle. All we're going to do is just sit back, eat out popcorn, like the brother said, watch the movie. That's it. We're going to give y'all spoiler alert too, man. I don't like it too bad. But that's our job, to come out and teach y'all what's to come. So y'all can't say, oh, we never learned that. Because then when you got that recompense on your head as well, when the Lord judge, he's going to say, I remember you heard them say that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say that. You can't say you didn't know. So our job is not easy telling y'all hard-headed ass people get right. But we gonna do it anyway, no matter if it's 1,000 times. You know how many summers and winters we've been out here? And y'all barely even stop here. But the Lord gonna put the finishing touch on it. It ain't our fight. Right? We just the pawns on the chessboard.
Back in 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
The Lord got time. Get you worried about time? No, he got time. If anything, this is the Lord speeding things up for us, right? And we like, damn, Lord, it's taking a minute. But yo, look at how the Lord actually deals, right? Look, from the beginning of damn near Abraham, you gonna tell Abraham, you gonna give Abraham a promise, and we still waiting for the promise to be fulfilled. You know, like imagine that. He's like, oh no, don't worry about it. He's speaking about it like you already got it. We still here. So like the Lord deals with time. And now we're at the point where things are happening by the hour. So if anything, the Lord is moving at like warp speed right now for us.
The Lord is.
Oh, yeah. Now, I just want to say it's been 2,000 years, but to him, that's 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just getting started.
Right.
And that's how you know this is a heavenly book, man. You got certain verses that will encapsulate 1,000 years in one verse or more. What other book you know that do that? And then switch back, switch time span. Now it's talking about 1,000 years. Now it's talking about one time. Now it's talking about 1 year. Then it goes back to speaking in the broad sense. And it goes back and focus. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in. So you gotta have a spiritual mind, man, to understand this book, especially when you get to the book of Revelation.
It's like a movie trailer. They could do that in movies. You know, like you'll be watching the scene and then the scene will just switch. And you're like, wait, hold on, why the character look young? Then they'll pull in the 3 years ago, you know, like 10 years ago. And then they'll show an important scene and it'll switch right back to the present. You know, so like the scriptures.
It says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
That means that the Lord is, when somebody is slack concerning their promise, that's somebody that doesn't keep their word, right? Like they'll say something and it's like, you got to chase them down, like to just to honor what they say. No, the Lord said he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
As some men count slackness. And those men that count slackness, you know, when they observe how the Lord does things, that's why when the time comes for the Lord to give his blessing and his protection and his salvation, well, you counted as slackness. It was taking too long, right? So you was in a rush, right, nigga? Okay, so now get in a rush to get a missile on top of your forehead, nigga.
That's it.
You know? It says,
because you know what? It's really like, once again, sometimes you read the scriptures, you got to pause and just think about it practically. Imagine it. I remember this when I first came to the truth. Apostle Gabar always used to stress that. He said, like, you got to imagine the actual words on the book, you know, not just read it just to read it. No, imagine it. So when we're talking about, like, the Lord says, I'm going to feed my servants, sit down and imagine one of the times you've been so hungry, like you just get mad at shit. You know, you get so pissed, like, yo, I'm hungry, and there's nothing to eat. But the Lord said he's going to feed us in that time. What does that actually look like? What does society look like when people cannot eat? Try to actually picture that. And if you can't, make reference to some movies that you've watched before that show that. And you can see what that actually looks like. You know, when it talks about famines and people eating each other, that's real. Like, that's real shit. People actually eating each other. Like, yo, you ever seen that in a movie or a TV show? You're like, ew, what the hell? That's mad disgusting. But you're going to see that in real life. So when we read about this is like real serious stuff, man. This is life and death. Like, it's either you get it all the way or you don't. There's no middle ground. So if the Lord is like, no, I'm not going to feed you, that means from the point A that you don't have food, you're not going to get food until you die. Imagine what that actually feels like. 24 hours go by. You ain't going to die in 24 hours, but you will start getting hungry. Then 48 hours, and you're still going to get even hungrier. Then 72 hours. Then you're going to get even hungrier, and now you're starting to feel the effects of it. And you know you ain't getting no food until you die. Imagine that. That's real life. And people are going to have to go through that.
Hey, that's why the prophets were called seers. If you got it, like the brother was saying, and Apostle Gabar always mentioned that we have to be visionaries with the word, right? You know, the Most High is the ultimate director, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and we have His Holy Spirit, so we can see the script, the behind the scenes and everything to envision it, to really like put yourself in that situation of what that's going to be like, of seeing all out chaos. Some brothers have experienced it, man. You know, and being in other countries. You know, I know a brother that was in the earthquake in Haiti, man. And he told me about how that's a crazy, like that was Jacob's trouble, you know? Well, that wasn't Jacob's trouble, but that was like what it's going to be like, right? Where you have mass death. The stench, he told me, the stench of the bodies. Man. You smell the bodies, like the human body is rotting is one of the most disgusting smells ever. And people screaming and crying out for just we. Which is Jesus. Okay? And they don't have the name of Yahweh Yahushai. So what are they going to do? And that was a microcosm. That was a microscope. Right. Now imagine on a continental, on a global level. Right. That's some scary shit, man. Why do you think we come out here and do this? Because the Lord put it in our mind to see these things. We are operating in the fear of the Lord, man. Right. Which most of this earth does not do. They don't operate in the fear of the Lord. They operate in the fear of Trump and the fear of what man could do, right? Because they're worried, like, yo, I got to fit in where I could get in, man. You know, they might, y'all not scared to go say that out there, man, against the government? Listen, man, we speaking against the powers that be and anybody who's an enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, including the tippy top of the elite to the lowest peon homeless nigga that scoffs against the truth. All right, there's no respect of persons in judgment. The Lord said in the laws, you're not supposed to give more mercy to somebody just because they're poor. You're supposed to judge righteous judgment. All right.
Yeah. And just like you just saying, at a time when you need it most, man, I mean, yo, that feeling is unmatched. You know, like when you really, really need something and you pray and then the Lord comes through with exactly what you need, if not better, at the right time, at the most crucial time, because that's what the Lord likes to do. He can give it to you at a time when you're sweating. He'll give it to you at a time when you're just like, yo, Lord, like I'm cooked right now. Like I'm like, the glass is literally 2 inches before falling and hitting the ground, and then boom, something happens and he catches it. That's what the Lord does. And that relief is just like, yo, like, whoa, you know? So in that time when the Lord starts, having these miracles happen, he blesses us with power, and the whole ball game changes at that point. I mean, complete, like it's like, they say flipping the game on its head. That's exactly what happens at that point. Because the second the Lord introduces spiritual power on the earth, boom, that's it. That from that very second that happens, nothing that happened before is ever going to be the same. Like nothing. It's going to be like, yo, that's it. Because he's not going to revert that. Now it's going to be a known thing in the world. Imagine that trending on the news, like in the world, like, yo, they're actually men with spiritual power in the actual world right now, that are going around like they have it. And a lot of people are gonna be like, yo, it's gonna turn into a world like you watch on TV when you watch Supercell, or you watch those kinds of TV shows where, yeah, it's a thing. It's like it's known. Except these are the men of the Lord. And on the flip side of that, like the brother was saying, sometimes you watch a clip and they'll say the before it plays, they'll say it contains graphic content, so just viewer discretion is advised. And you may see somebody actually die live on camera. But that's still a different look than right next to you. Because, when shit hits the fan and there's nobody there to come in, there's no cops, there's no nothing. Literally, you can have one argument. It may be a group of y'all. And then two people start going at it. Like, yo, what you do? I'm tired of your shit. And then next, boom. Guy's on the floor. He's choking him out. He's stuck in GTA 5 on some Trevor shit. Just stomping him out. Stomp. And you're standing there with the rest of the people and you see this guy getting stomped out. And then boom. But eventually his body stops moving. And then you're just like, yo, he just killed the guy right there. That's it. And then he just walks away somewhere. Like when you see shit like that, for the next couple of days, you're thinking about that shit. It's fresh in your mind. Like, yo, like that's a lifeless body right there. Like 2 seconds ago, this guy was alive. You remember his face when he was alive. Now you're looking at his corpse right there. Dead, not moving. Because he got into an argument. That's when that like heartbeat is gonna start hitting people like, yo, this is real. Like this nigga just died like that. Like anybody can die just that quickly and easily. That's when reality sits in. That's when your mind has to rewire. Like, yo, you ain't in a society where, yo, chill, I'm gonna call the cops. Yo, what y'all doing? No. That doesn't exist anymore. Now you start to be very careful. Now you're like, yo, I only get one life. Right. That YOLO shit ain't something to be going around saying anymore. That's when people realize I need protection. I need a guarantee. And then imagine now this man with spiritual power. Where do you think your mind is going to go? Even if you were a guy, you're going to be like, yo, I need to find one of them. Because shit, if anything comes, I can hide behind him. Just got it.
They're going to be playing life on hardcore mode, man. You know what I'm saying? One straight bullet and that's your ass, man. I seen this one video of this Eve. I guess some ex-lover, scorned lover. You know how Eve be doing niggas dirty. And basically she was at the door to her house and the dude ran up and the gun jammed. She's like, no, please. She said, and then the Lord really drew it out for her because then she had to beg. If he would have just ended it right there, it would have been easier on her. But she's begging for her life and he's really getting it together. And she froze. She could have tried to like at least get the gun away from him or run away. But she just froze in the moment. She's thinking like he's going to change his mind or something's going to come and no deliverance is coming for you because you don't fear the Lord. So then, boom, he clapped. He licked off however many shots in her, and her body dropped, and she's still alive for a few seconds. She's breathing. You hear her breathing on the Ring camera. It was like, and then you just hear it getting less and less and less, and that was it. That was it. She was dead, and she was reported dead. And now everybody's crying a sad song. But they don't think about how before you should have feared the Lord, man. Out here doing whatever, people living without fear of the Lord, man. Without there's no consequence to nothing. because that's you having the mind of Esau. You are of your father, the devil.
Get Second Ezra 9. And one video where you had, I think this was in some foreign country. I don't know what language, like those like Indonesia or like Thailand or like somewhere over there, and you had like three girls, and they were in like, it's a body of water that looks like a little river or something like that, and then there's one of them who's not in it and she's recording. So they all, girls, they they laughing and shit. Meanwhile, they can't even swim, so they're literally at the rock. They're at the rock area. And then they'll be laughing, and then the wave will come and hit them, and then they'll giggle real loud and shit. Oh my gosh, oh shit! And then the girl that's recording, you can hear she's like loud, but you don't know what she's saying. So she's like laughing, like, yo, this is crazy. Like, yo, y'all gotta. Next thing you know, the chick on the further side, the water comes one time, and then boom, now she start going back. Then the next two chicks try to go for it. Now they start going back in the water, and then it literally in like 3 seconds, the chick's head is now covered underwater. And then her face expression changes. And when that happens, you come up about like maybe once or twice, and then you're completely taken under the water. So you see her face come up, and she looks like she needs to, like, she's trying to breathe, and then the current just takes her, because it was an undercurrent. And when the undercurrent is on the top of the water, it looks normal, but under the water, the current is going the opposite way. So you can't tell what's really happening under the water. So the current was actually taking them deeper into the water, while surface level, they looked like they were just good. And all you hear is the girl who's recording, like, she goes from, you can't understand what she's saying, but her screams go from a scream of like laughter and excitement to like fear. And you can just hear that. And then she puts the camera down, and she's like screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And her friends are gone. They're under the water at this point. They're just gone. Like, they're drowned. They're not coming back. And she's screaming because in her mind, she's like, if anybody can get here at least quick enough, time is running out. You can please try to get them. But nothing was happening. Where they were, nobody was around. And now 3 girls gone, dead, just like that. So that's trauma for this chick. But in a matter of seconds, she went from excited screaming to fearful screaming. Seeing her friends die and drown right in front of her, gone. That's it. And she's probably thinking a million things in her mind, like, why did we even come here in the first place? If we never came here this day, we would have been perfectly fine. None of this would have happened. But they're dead. They're literally gone. Why didn't they just get out the water the first time? Why did they stay in there long enough? If they never did that, they would have been alive. But guess what? They're gone, all 3 of them. And she watched them drown right in front of her. She didn't even see their bodies after that. So, like, imagine what's going to happen to her going back home. But when she goes back home, she will at least have somebody or people to comfort her. But you know what? 2 Ezra 16 says, there shall be no man left to comfort them. So imagine a situation like this where she's crying, but she got her family that can like hug her and tell her it's okay and eventually help her cope. That's not happening for you when all hell breaks loose. That's going to happen, and you're not even going to have time to mourn that, because now your life is on the line. You got to try and find some way to survive. And you're tired, and you're exhausted, and you're hungry, and you don't even have time to feel all the different things your body is going through. You just survive. Yeah. That's the kind of hell that we're talking about. Got it, bro.
Quick one. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See, now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive.
So guess what? Those 3 girls, the Most High, it ain't, oh, why did God let this happen? That's the misconception. God didn't let it happen. He gave the command for it to happen. Don't you know that he controls the waters? Did Yahweh not command the waters to calm down? So the Lord is like, yeah, those 3, they got to go. And then just like that, they're gone. The Lord did that.
People don't understand that. And then in the next verse, the Lord says he lifts up his hand and says he lives forever. After he's saying, I kill and I make alive. And guess what? He lives forever.
Yep.
So for you people, like life and death, the way that human beings see life and death, the Most High doesn't see it that way.
Right.
He gave you that spirit. He gave you that blessing. And he's like, shit, I can take it away. And we should all be grateful, starting with the elect. Lord's will would be those men that the Heavenly Father gave us Yahweh Shai as a go-between. Because Yahweh Shai has been in the flesh as we do. So he knows the temptations and the pain of being in a body. All right. But when you go into how the Lord operates, and he's about to go back to, you're going to have those Old Testament judgments.
Yep.
You're gonna have that in these times. And you know what's crazy is people think about the Old Testament. The Old Testament, that's the old way. Listen, the book of Revelation is even harsher than that. The Lord said the blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle. You know, so, you know, people got to get it out their mind about this soft ass version of the Most High. That's why it's important that we tell you who the real image is. That is a so-called black man, an austere, scary looking man. Not this soft, hippie, whatever the hell, you know, sodomite looking character, man. Because when you see that, it's just disarming. It's like, oh yeah, that ain't nothing to be afraid of. That ain't nothing to be scared of. But we dealing with the Most High, Allah Yuwan Kwinashamayim Wa Ratazah, the Most High possessor of heaven and earth, man. You know, he's the one who commanded the waves that they don't pass the bounds of the sea, man. He's the one that flooded the whole earth at one point. So with that, these girls that went to the water, you should think and fear the Lord. A little bit of fear of the Lord would have prevented a tragedy. Hey, there's water, man. Remember when the Lord flooded the whole earth? Yeah, maybe we should be careful around water because a lot of people die by that. They don't play, but that's the same. Play with fire, get burned. And y'all people are all playing with fire, man, because the scripture says our God is a consuming fire.
Which I feel like if you feared the Lord enough, you wouldn't hesitate to want to praise and worship him and be obedient. And you would realize that he don't have no respect of person. Killing little 7-month-old baby. So what makes you think that you spared been living in a world sinfully and living wickedly? You with me. Every day I wake up 3 times a day. I'm praying that the Lord don't take the Holy Spirit from me, and I pray for forgiveness because I fear the Lord. But y'all don't fear the Lord enough. Y'all need to see more judgment in order for y'all to get what's going on. This program is about take you for no reason. Right? You know, you could be living a righteous life and you can still take. It's holy men, it's righteous men that's in the spirit world right now who went to the grave doing his work, right? Following his truth, but he still let them go. So just imagine how countless you are. You get afflicted with the most harmful death. I think it's a game. You know, America is still considered a virgin. The virgin Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Y'all about to get that cherry pop.
That's it. Okay.
Back in Deuteronomy 32 and 39, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
And you know what? And the thing is, it's not like the Most High is evil, right? He can do evil, but it's not like he's evil. And the reason is because like he has to bring such harsh judgment because his requirements are really not difficult, right? So if you break them, it's like you almost got to go an extra mile to do some real foul shit, especially when he's given like room for repentance, you know? So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to treat you this way because it's not like you accidentally are doing this shit. You're deliberately doing it. It would be accidental if maybe you do it out of ignorance if I didn't have my men over here. But it's not just that you don't hear what they say, you mock what they say. So why should I have any mercy for you in the time of judgment? Because the first time I had mercy, see, I'm not Iran. When I came to have peace with you, and you try to drop bombs on me, what you think, I'm gonna come back to the table again? No. So the Most High, and it says that in Proverbs, the first chapter, that he reached out his hand and you basically just smacked his hand away. I would not meet thee as a man. There you go. I would not meet that. Then that's it. Got it.
Deuteronomy 32 and 40, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever.
Mm-hmm.
If I whet my glittering sword, which means sharpen, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh.
Yeah, and those arrows now represent the nuclear missiles. Okay, those are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, and they're gonna be drunk with blood, meaning they're gonna do a lot of destruction. So a lot of people the Lord said he's gonna do this to his enemies, and you made yourself an enemy of the Lord. So he's gonna do that to you. We made sure that we stayed under the covering of the servants of the Lord. Servants, by serving the Lord. You just said, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the Lord got.
And that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenge is upon the enemy.
There you go. So the Lord is just telling you that, look, you make an enemy out of me, I'm going to completely destroy you. I am the creator. Who the hell are you to make an enemy out of me? You going to try to fight the creator? Bruh, you don't even have enough brain cells to understand me. You're going to try to fight against me. Like, my name alone, you can't even comprehend. That's why I had to tell you that I am. I had to tell you that because I can't really explain to you me. Did you forget that? You're going to try to come and fight against me. Come on, man. They talk about know your enemy. You're not even close to knowing. You don't even know yourself. The Lord was asking you, yo, explain to me how your brain actually works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that when I think this, okay, how does an idea get into your head? Well, I just have it. How do you have it? Oh, you know, we're so primitive in the presence of the Lord that He's looking at you like, look at you. You don't even know yourself. You're gonna try to talk about, I'm gonna come fight you. Get out.
Hey, all the AI, supercomputer, computer power, AGI, all of that, you ain't even scratching the surface,
Right?
On the understanding of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua.
Y'all use 3% of your brain potential, and it's 100% to unlock. But just imagine, if you the one who created that 100%, you only use 3%, you fall in the stone age. That's why the chariots look so high tech. Do the things that's unimaginable. And y'all government is telling y'all we don't stand a chance. If they were to react or strike, they know that they don't last an hour. They don't last a day fighting Yahweh shot. So what they could do is just try to suppress that that the chariots is involved in Yahweh shot. So we won't believe that that's something of righteous indignation that's going to be unleashed on us. Right? So that's a big deception, but all of that's about to be revealed right now. And this is revealed chapters like Isaiah 13 and as far as Isaiah 47.
Deuteronomy 32 and 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people. And when you look here in the margin, it says, praise his people, ye nations. For he will avenge the blood of his servants and will render vengeance to his adversaries and will be merciful unto his land and to his people.
So the Lord's mercy is only going to be for his people. The rest, you're about to get the vengeance. You know, he's about to use you as a public example as to why, just like he did with ancient Egypt. You know? That was on that? Yeah, that's it. All right, let's finish up with this one.
This book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 10, and it reads, for such as have not acknowledged me and have received benefits in life, and loathed my law while they were yet free to repent, and time for repentance was still open to them, and yet recognized it not, but despised it. The same must after death recognize it in torment.
That's it. So guess what? You don't have a gun to your head to repent. But just know that if you don't, you're going to find out why you should have. You know? And that's it. That's what the Lord is doing. He's like, all right, go ahead. I gave you the door of repentance, and then there's the world. So you pick what you want to pick, but there's consequences for it all. Pretty simple. You know? And so, hey, Lord willing, we're going to continue in the right path. We're going to watch the Lord work. This is his movie, and we're going to enjoy the Lord's movie. We're not going to tell the Lord how to direct his own movie. We just going to enjoy the Lord's movie, and we're going to hope that, hey, at the end of the day, we get the good seats. You know what I'm saying? The good parts of the movie. We know we acting, right? But the rest of the world, they living it. You know? So, Russ, got anything else?
I just wanted to say, be glad we got the name of the Lord to call upon. And that's a strong tower. That's our protection, man. We're in the right place right now. Lord's will, we continue on in this place.
Right, that's right. Beautiful. And Lord's will, we get that power soon. Mayday is coming. So, hey, it's all in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakodash. And until next time, Shalom.